So I did want to talk a little bit about what I think is the emerging taxonomy of homelessness, because I'm now beginning to see that it's multiple different things. What the image here is of something that has become very, very common in Portland. This is not the most common version of it, but this is a derelict vehicle. I guess it probably still runs.
Many of them don't, but this one
Many
looks
of
like
them
it does.
don't. This one looks like it still might. The windows may be busted out. I don't know. They're certainly down. There are blankets up over the windows. This is better than a tent because it offers more security. But basically the idea is, just as people have adopted tents to protect themselves in their homeless condition, people have now adopted vehicles. And increasingly, over the last couple of years, that has transitioned from derelict cars to derelict RVs. Mm-hmm. And so there are places in the city, many of them, in which you'll have a line of RVs and all of the trash from the lives that these people are living strewn out. It just takes over sidewalks. It takes over empty lots. And it's disgusting. It's obviously a hazard, a fire hazard. But in any case, so I see that there's like a permanently homeless population, which, as we have discussed, has a lot to do with addiction and mental illness. Mm-hmm. And then there are a couple of populations which I wonder, homeless is kind of a euphemism in that case, because homelessness is not the driving factor, even though people swear that it is. It's not enough homes. The rent is too high. And the point is, no, this is about a kind of dysfunction.
Schellenberger does a great job of analyzing this. And, I can't remember what it's called, like the Homes First or Houses First movement, which is just taken over as the only movement you're allowed to talk about being part of if you're trying to eradicate homelessness. And, he argues in San Francisco that if we called the population something else, and not like unhoused, not just moving the goalpost because it's fun to do so, but identified that actually there are other things that got them here, and there may be something that they share, but there are, exactly as you say, different populations. And frankly, the people who had bad luck and a medical bill or the death of a breadwinner sent them over the edge into not being able to pay their rent or their mortgage anymore, and now they find themselves on their street with their family or whatever. Those people definitely exist, and it is the responsibility of a weird society to take care of them. But they are, I think, a very small fraction of the homeless people that we are seeing.
Well, I think they're a small fraction of the homeless people that we are seeing. Increasingly, and partially this is something that our move has revealed to me, is that
Our move to Portland?
No, our move from Portland. The fact that we are using storage facilities, right, to juggle materials has revealed something to me that I had not understood, right, which is what I think I am seeing. I don't know that this is what I'm seeing, but after many, many interactions at these things, often late at night, you pack and you do whatever business you need to do during business hours, and then late after things are closed, you take stuff to the storage locker to get it organized.
One thing you're about to elide, though, I haven't been, is that the storage lockers officially close at 10. So if you you can get in before 10, but then you can't get back in. So it's supposed to sort of shut down after 10. And so you've been there sometimes finishing up stuff as the doors close from the outside.
Right. And what I think I see is people using these storage lockers who appear to be driving vehicles that are in terrible condition. And what I think I'm understanding is people are using this as a stopgap. I think they may be living in storage facilities, and you can imagine the trouble that causes. Some of these facilities don't have a bathroom. None of the things that you would rent have electricity, but they are climate controlled. And so that a person who can make themselves...
And it's a lot cheaper than rent.
Right. A person who can make themselves unobtrusive can utilize this. It's surely safer than living on the street.
And it's month to month. So, if you're like, oh God, I couldn't pay that last bill. I lost my apartment. I need to hold on to my job.
Right.
I can get a storage unit for an amount that's a third my rent. And at any moment that I get back on my feet, I can move back into a real place.
Yeah. So these people are marginal But
in terms of at the economic fringes
they're
of society,
economically marginalized. They are not earning enough to live in a way that most of us would recognize, but they are not on the street because they have cleverly utilized this resource. But in any case, nobody has said this to me. It's just, it is what one puts together if you watch the traffic at these facilities and you begin to detect the patterns of who's showing up, when, and all of that. So anyway, I guess the point is, look, you've got the tent homeless, you've got the derelict vehicle homeless, you may well have the storage facility, barely functional car homeless.
And there are, of course, people in shelters and such. I mean, shelters have been defunded in service of creating other kinds of housing opportunities. Many of which, again, as Schellenberger outlines, are a failure at the policy level. But certainly shelters do still exist. Yeah,
they do. And my sense is that people use them sometimes. Like bad weather will drive people to shelters and things like that.